evening, San Antonio. We made it to Sunday, and that cold front came through early this morning. You might have already noticed the stronger winds. Now, we do have that red flag warning and that fire weather watch until about 9 p.m. tonight for not only San Antonio, but also areas like Del Rio, College Station, all the way going into areas of Louisiana for that chance for the low relative humidity values and those stronger winds. Now, if we do see any fires, the issue is they will spread very rapidly. The good news, though, is the winds are finally starting to decrease. We're only seeing about 25-mile-an-hour wind gusts currently on the evening hours, but otherwise another chance of some stronger winds returning tomorrow afternoon. Still going to be from the north, though, allowing for some of that cooler Arctic and Canadian air to feed in behind that cold front throughout most of the United States. And with that, we're talking about waking up in the 30s on Monday and Tuesday. Some folks in the Hill Country do have a freeze warning already issued, but it's not going to be a widespread freeze is the good news. We're finally tracking some rain on the 7-day forecast.
A shooting at a Northeast Side gas station leaves one hurt and a major scene behind. Now police are searching for multiple suspects. And Governor Greg Abbott making a historic announcement tonight, coming up his plan for 2026. Plus, a local nonprofit is speaking out against GoFundMe. Coming up, why they say the company's actions against them is misleading.
Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
But first, this is a live look inside the Senate where lawmakers are voting on the first steps to end a 40-day government shutdown. Tonight, a senior Democratic senator telling ABC News there will likely be enough Democratic votes to advance the Republican bill to extend government funding through the end of January. However, sources say the deal does not include the Democrats' key demand, an extension on Obamacare subsidies to keep premiums from skyrocketing. The shutdown has left 42 million Americans who depend on SNAP benefits in limbo. We'll continue to watch this as it develops. And as the pause on SNAP benefits leaves many families struggling to put food on the table, local influencers are stepping in to help. Coming up later in the show, how they're using their social platforms to raise awareness and support their communities. And an update to a breaking news story we first brought to you at 5:30. A shooting at a Northeast Side gas station has left multiple agencies looking for multiple suspects. San Antonio Police and the Bexar County Sheriff's Office responded to the scene off Sunrise Drive and Benz-Engelman Road. We know at least one person was shot in the leg and that there is possibly 3 suspects who ran away. This is still a developing story, and as we learn more, we'll bring that to you. New tonight, and also on the Northeast Side, 2 people were injured after a house fire. A home off of La Ventana and El Charro where the fire started sustained heavy damage. 2 people inside were able to get out before crews got there and only sustained minor injuries and were treated on scene. The San Antonio Fire Department says the flames risked spreading. However, they were able to get it under control before that happened. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. New tonight, Texas Governor Greg Abbott is officially running for a historic 4th term. He made that announcement in Houston tonight. Our sister station's KPRC's Rowan Balunga was there and has more.
The governor says he has plenty of connections here in Houston. The First Lady of Texas is from Houston. The governor ran for his first public office here in Houston. The big thing, he's hoping to flip Harris County red. Governor Greg Abbott hoping Texans will keep him in the governor's office for another 4-year term. Abbott announcing his re-election campaign in Houston's 5th Ward.
This is the place where I first ran for public office. We won Harris County then, and we are going to win Harris County again this election.
Many of the East River 9 crowd wearing Make America Texas and the Team G hats chanting. Touting his accomplishments while in office, Abbott says there's more to do, such as lowering the costs of child care, health care, and housing. Plus, he says the state needs to do more on property taxes, even getting rid of some.
Sometimes your property taxes increase, and you don't even have any say in it. That must change. To fix that, I want all property tax increases to be voted on and approved by 2/3 of the voters.
Judge, so you've been a critic of the governor in the past. You've obviously changed parties, and now you're here supporting the governor. Talk to us about that.
I appreciate what he's doing, and not just that, a lot of changes happening in Texas when I compare with California and New York.
The comparison to other states isn't just something Judge KP George is doing, but same as Abbott, who says national Democrats are hoping to flip the governorship.
Let's keep Texas, Texas. Let's roll.
Several Democrats have announced plans to run for governor, and we expect more. The filing deadline ends in December. I'm Ramon Belogan, KPRC 2 News.
The struggle and pain continues. We recently told you about 9 families that were displaced after a fire heavily damaged their apartment building on the northwest side. This is what that scene looked like on Friday. The complex is located on USAA Boulevard near Fredericksburg and Huebner Roads. And these are photos that one family shared with us. You can see the inside of Lopez's unit, everything completely destroyed. Here's what they had to say.
Literally everything was destroyed, and there were so many memories in that house and lots of stuff that reminded me of things I love.
Even now, I guess groceries would be one of the main things that we would need to do to get. And then since my daughter, both of us lost everything, but I'm just more concerned for her at the moment. So she would need, like, you know, socks, clothes, you know, undergarments.
They hope they can move into a new unit sooner rather than later. And taking a look at live cam, the cooler temperatures are here. We also saw some gusty winds throughout the day today.
Yeah, we did, and that was because of that cold front that came through this morning, JP. And the cold front not only brought some drier conditions, but the winds. We saw that northerly wind for most of the day today, and those northerly winds brought some of that cooler air, and we'll really feel that cold air tomorrow. But today was a strong day for those wind gusts. We saw some wind gusts. Take a look at this. 38 miles an hour reported at the San Antonio airport, 30 miles an hour in Kerrville, 39 in Hondo. So some areas did see some stronger winds. Now, the good news, the winds are continuing to die down. Right now, we're really only seeing winds maybe gusting up to 25. Most of them are about 15 to 20. And by tomorrow morning, there will definitely be calmer. But not only that, the winds will continue to be a little strong for some, making it feel just a few degrees cooler on already cold temperatures, waking up in the 30s. I'll talk about the new freeze warning that was added today and how cold we'll get tomorrow morning because of those stronger winds today, coming up in just a bit.
Shelby, thank you. A local nonprofit is one of many that is speaking up against GoFundMe. San Antonio Pets Alive tells us GoFundMe created a donation page for their organization without their permission. It's something we reported on a few weeks ago. However, the Night Team's Madeline Lambert breaks down the struggle that nonprofits are having to go through while trying to retrieve funds that were donated to these unofficial fundraisers.
Every dollar is vital, you know, to take care of these animals that we're saving their lives.
Bob says he was shocked when he saw San Antonio Pets Alive on GoFundMe.
So when you see something like this and then people, you know, donate to it, and then they find out it's a scam. You know, we didn't do it, but if I was a donor, I'd be very, you know, curious. I'd be a little concerned as to how I would donate in the future.
Just last month, GoFundMe created more than 1 million donation pages for organizations that are registered as nonprofits in the U.S.
It was supposed to raise awareness to donors about these organizations, but again, the problem is that it has to be approved through the organization to do that. And so it's very misleading.
Bob and his team found several GoFundMe pages that said they were benefiting San Antonio Pets Alive. Those pages raised more than $1,300.
We can't access the money. What I really would like to see is the money be returned to the donors, and then they donate through our legitimate way, like I said, through our website.
We reached out to GoFundMe, and a spokesperson said the page for San Antonio Pets Alive has since been removed like the nonprofit requested. They also said all donations that were previously collected have been delivered directly to them.
Anybody wanting to make a donation, like we said earlier, just be very careful, really look at where you're donating, and honestly go to the organization's website.
San Antonio Pets Alive is telling people the only way they accept donations is through their website at sanantoniopetsalive.org.
All of the nonprofits, we rely on their donations, so let's do it right.
Madeline Lambert, KSAT 12 News.
Local influencers are working to fill up our food pantries with different canned goods and shelf-stable items through a hashtag on social media. We'll tell you why coming up. Have you seen the hashtag Foodies Filling Pantries on TikTok or Instagram? It's an effort started by Gabrielle Gonzalez. She's better known as Siempre San Antonio on social media.
We have a platform. That's another thing. We have a platform, and we should be using our platform for the good of our community. So I decided, let me do a little challenge and get my foodie friends involved. I put it out there and I challenged some of my foodie friends, and now people are challenging each other.
Food influencers will tag each other on social media with the hashtag Foodies Filling Pantries. It challenges them to go to the store, fill up a grocery cart, and then take those items to fill up a food pantry.
And thanks to her list, I was able to find a pantry near my home, and I went and I filled up the pantry.
So we decided to drive to a few of these different local food pantries across San Antonio to figure out exactly what's needed so that anyone who wants to participate in this hashtag and fill up these pantries can do just that.
People would take it upon themselves to organize, to bring things, and to fill the pantry, and it's just the best feeling to know that that's how people from San Antonio are.
But the need for food has been overwhelming these last few weeks. SNAP benefits were not arriving on time, and federal employees were not getting paid.
And folks will sometimes put out calls, especially during the holidays, or especially when they hear about like the shutdown, knowing that folks are going to not have their SNAP benefits.
And what we started to notice is empty pantry after empty pantry after empty pantry. That is until we got here to the Harlandale Sunshine Pantry on Drury Lane in the south side, and we finally start to see some canned goods, some boxed goods, anything shelf stable, but it's still not completely full, and that's when this hashtag comes in to rescue those in need.
This is starting with the foodies and our content creator community, but I want everybody to know that they're able to get involved as well.
So after all of our interviews, I went over to a local store, picked up a few canned items that are easy to open, and brought them over to our local pantry. And it only took a few minutes of our time.
So I think it's really cool for folks to use their influence to bring attention and to get people fed.
Zaria Oates, KSAT 12 News.
And we have some quick breaking news that we're going to make a quick mention of before we get you more full details on the situation. But after 40 days of a standoff, the Senate on Sunday night, just a few moments ago, voted to advance a deal that would move toward funding the government in a 60-40 vote. The minimum votes required was 60. We'll get more details on the next steps and what will occur in the coming days in just a few moments. But first, weather.
Yeah, so today was a busy day for the weather team. We were talking about that chance of some fire danger, and all the fire weather-related warnings and watches have since expired. And now, JP, we have a freeze warning in effect. It started arriving last night. Now, the good news is it's not a widespread freeze. That's not what we're expecting. And really, the freeze warning is only for portions of the Hill Country and the Edwards Plateau. It doesn't even make it to Bexar County. But Kerr County, Real County, Bandera, even getting up to Gillespie County, all the way up to Killeen, Dallas, Fort Worth. And it's until about 9 a.m. tomorrow morning because temperatures are still going to be right around freezing. But not only that, we're also expecting some wind chill temperatures. Now, it's not going to be what we saw back in 2021. We're only expecting our temperatures to maybe get into the low 30s, maybe a few upper 20s. We're not expecting the teens and the single digits, and we're not expecting any sort of frozen precipitation with this. But keep in mind that it is still going to be a little chilly for some. So you might want to remember the 4 Ps. If you have any pets that are outdoors, maybe bring them inside. Cover some of your plants, your pipes if you're in an older house, and remember your people. And this is all because of that cold front that came through. So today, temperatures right now even are sitting 15 to even 20 degrees colder than what we were just 24 hours ago. San Antonio sitting about 15, and then Junction sitting almost 25 degrees colder. Now, the good news is all those little yellow lines, those are the wind barbs for the upper levels of the atmosphere, and they have continued to decrease. Although it still may look like the winds are strong, they're not as strong as what they were earlier because that cold front that we saw finally pushed through. But we're still expecting not only today, but also tomorrow, much below average temperatures, not only for San Antonio, but all the way up through most of the country, because what we saw is a little bit of a dip in what we call the jet stream. And that's when we see a little bit of those low pressure systems we normally get, but bringing some of that cooler Arctic air, also known as the polar vortex for some. But we're seeing that below average temperatures, not only for us in the Alamo City, all the way up to Chicago, even in the Dakotas and Minnesota, where they're sitting below freezing right now. 27 degrees in Grand Forks, North Dakota, 45 degrees in Dallas. Even Oklahoma City is right on the edge of sitting above freezing at 36 degrees. So all this cooler air we're seeing is still possible. Now tomorrow morning, yes, we are still going to be having our actual air temperature in the 30s, but what we're also watching is that possibility of the wind chill temperatures. It's still going to be feeling a few degrees cooler for us than what the actual air temperature is expected to be. Some areas might see the wind chill temperatures in the 30s or even below freezing for some. So keep that in mind. Now tomorrow morning when you're waking up, you're going to want to bring a jacket for the kiddos. We're waking up still in the 30s and above freezing for San Antonio and in the city, but portions of the hill country are going to be sitting below freezing. You might even want to start your car just a few minutes early to make sure that it's nice and warm before you actually get in it. And then not only are we seeing those cooler temperatures tomorrow, we're watching that possibility on Tuesday morning to see some colder temperatures finally returning, just like how Mary loves it, in the 80s by Wednesday and Thursday.
Just above freezing there at 37 and 36.
Yes.
The Texans got off to a cold start themselves, but they warmed up rather quickly, Mary.
That they did, yes. After the game, D'Amico Ryans gave compliments to all three phases of the Texans today. The offense, special teams, defense. We'll show you the highlights coming up and hear from Coach Ryans. Also, we're talking Aggies and our Scholar Athlete of the Week. Stay with us.
Everything that could go wrong went wrong as soon as the game started.
Jacksonville is making light work of H-Town in the first half until it all started clicking in big board sports. In H-Town, Davis Mills starting for C.J. Stroud, who sustained a concussion last week as the Texans host division rival Jacksonville. A rough first half for Houston, but this play right here was the momentum changer. A one-handed interception by Derek Stingley Jr. that prevents the Jags from adding to their lead. Texans trying to stage a comeback. 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, down 29-18 when Mills throws over the middle for Nico Collins, who makes a difficult catch. And a few plays later, 3rd and 3 from the Jags 7. Mills has all day to throw, and he finds Dalton Schultz in the back of the end zone for Dalton's first touchdown of the season. The Texans' 2-point attempt fails, so they trailed 29-24. Next, Texans drive pinned deep in their own zone when Mills hits Dalton again for the first down. Now later in the drive, 3rd and goal from the 14-yard line now. Mills drops back to pass, but he'll scramble left, and well, he'll just run all the way, diving for the pylon. Touchdown, Mills. With the late game heroics. Who would have thought? The Texans failed the 2-point attempt, but they led by 1 point, and with 7 seconds left, last chance for the Jags. 1st and 20 from their own 35. Lawrence steps up, he's hit, and the ball falls right in the arms of Sheldon Rankins. Rankins runs it all the way back for the touchdown. Ryans is hyped after that when the Texans pull it off, 36-29, and a huge win, as you can see, as it relates to the AFC South standings. Now, after the game, D'Amico Ryans told the story of the last play of the game from his vantage point.
No one blinked. Like, I talked to the guys last night about this is going to be a heavyweight fight, and we got to keep throwing punting no matter how it looks. It may look rough. It doesn't matter.
Ball pops in the air, and Rankins takes it the distance.
That's one of the most exciting plays I've been a part of. To end the game like that with Rankins going in to score, man. Wow. It was an awesome play, and I was trying to meet him down there in the end zone.
I don't know how many times someone has gone on the road 3 straight weeks in this conference and finished that stretch 3-0. And so it's a credit to the character we have in the locker room. It's a credit to the kids that we have in there and what they're doing to give themselves a chance to be successful.
Breaks free.
Texas A&M's 3-game SEC road tour went well for the Aggies. A&M is now 9-0 overall after a dominant outing against Missouri in Columbia yesterday, continuing their best start since 1992. Next week, the Aggies welcome South Carolina to College Station.
There's still boxes to check. We still got a conference road. We got one more opportunity. But again, we talked about, again, these dudes just keep making history. They keep checking boxes. Guaranteed a winning season, most wins by a startup program, and there's still work to be done.
Bounces it outside. He's got room. Goal line.
How about that? UTRGV picked up its 7th win of the season with a 21-28 victory over Nichols yesterday. No other startup program has had the amount of success that the Kettos are having in their inaugural season. Coach Travis Bush, after the game, pointed out that other programs tried to deter players from committing to UTRGV by saying it'll take a while until they start winning. Well, guess who's laughing now? All right, it's time now to introduce you to this week's Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Hello, my name is Maverick Vela. I'm from Southside High School, and I'm this week's KSAT 12 Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Maverick is one of the captains of the varsity football team. He's also the team captain of varsity track and field, where he set a new school record in the pole vault his junior year. He was named MVP and selected to the mile split all-city first team. Maverick is a member of the National Honor Society and the Future Farmers of America. He performs community service through the Southside ISD Food Bank, Habitat for Humanity, and First Assembly of God Church. He maintains a 4.0 GPA and is ranked 10th in his class. Maverick plans to pole vault at the collegiate level, major in kinesiology with a concentration in physical therapy. Thanks, Maverick, for being KSAT 12 Scholar Athlete of the Week, presented by Christus Children's.
Now back to that breaking news. The Senate taking its first steps towards ending the government shutdown. The Senate has voted 60-40 to advance a funding bill. Tonight, in a test vote that is the first in a series of procedural maneuvers, the Senate voted to move towards passing compromise legislation to fund the government. The agreement does not guarantee the Affordable Care Act subsidies will be extended. We'll be right back. When we think about animals that do a lot to help humans and the environment, dogs, horses, and even butterflies come to mind. However, locally, you can make an argument that one particular animal is more valuable than it'll ever get credit for. In this case, that explains. Justin Horns goes into the cold, dark depths of South Texas to bring to light the importance of bats.
Creepy, gross, frightening. Others might find them cute. Aww. Either way, the fact that these flying hunters only come out at night doesn't help the stigma surrounding them. No, they don't suck your blood, and turns out they want nothing to do with you. Now that that's out of the way, let's do some trivia. Bats are A, invertebrates, B, reptiles, C, mammals, or D, birds. Did you get it right? Yep. They are mammals, just like you and me, which means they give birth, usually in maternity roosts inside caves like Rack and Bat Cave, one of the most famous and home to the largest Mexican free-tailed bat colony in the world. And it just so happens to be right outside San Antonio. Mexican free-tailed bats have a long history with our area.
Talking about bats, I can go on for days. So people in the background are time to cut him off.
Fran Hutchins, which, if you've watched KSAT over the years, you've seen him many times before, is about as knowledgeable about bats as it gets.
I probably mumble about it in my sleep.
Speaking of which, that's when bats are at their best.
Yeah, they're kind of like teenagers. They're up all night, sleep during the day, and smell bad.
When it's dark, that's when the party starts, and all they do is eat.
They are the biggest nighttime bug eater that we have here in Texas. So, for example, a Bracken Cave, that colony of bats is eating over 150 tons of bugs at night. That's like 280,000 Whataburgers in food each night.
Now those are terms us Texans can understand, and that Whataburger-sized collection of bugs is a farmer's dream come true.
For all the insects they're eating, it prevents crop damage, we don't have to spray pesticides on our crops, all those kind of things. So they're just a significant benefit to our local farmers.
They can travel 60 miles foraging for food and fly at altitudes of 10,000 feet.
There has long been a stigma around bats, but in the last several years, we've come to embrace them here in South Texas. It's taken years of education and convincing South Texans that these bats are indeed important.
That acceptance didn't exist just a few decades ago. Did you know that thousands of bats were going to be used as expendable weapons in World War II? We covered this in a recent story about bat bombs. There's an exhibit explaining the whole thing in Bernie. Long story short, the military spent $2 million on a project that would place thousands of bats with incendiary devices strapped to their backs inside a bomb. That bomb was to be dropped on Japan with the hopes of catching buildings on fire.
How close did it get to being deployed?
Well, spending $2 million, I think they were pretty serious, and they had a lot of people working on it.
It didn't end up going forward, but it does underscore just how far we've come in our appreciation for these creatures. These days, we even have a brewery named in their honor. The free-tailed bat, which is the most common bat in our area, truly is fascinating. They live in colonies, some of which are male-only bachelor colonies.
So the males will go to these bachelor colonies, and it'll just be the males hanging out.
Meantime, the moms are doing work.
So the mothers are going to be nursing the babies here around mid-June when they start having them.
It's estimated that baby Mexican free-tailed bats roost in densities of up to 500 babies per square foot. Incredibly, mother bats are able to find their own babies amongst thousands of pups by using their sense of smell and hearing. In some cases, like with bracken, the colonies are so big they can be seen on radars in the evening when they leave to hunt for food. And sometimes in the mornings, too, when they fly back into the caves. You'll see KSAT meteorologists point it out on authority radar from time to time. Recently, I was given the rare opportunity to rappel down into the Devil's Sinkhole, another important South Texas bat roosting spot. Hutchins was there to conduct important research. The population here has inexplicably dropped.
They just may have moved to where there's a better food source. We just don't know, but it's something we're investigating.
That could be because of drought.
We put a data logger in there that records temperature and humidity every hour.
What they hope it's not is white nose syndrome.
We also will swab the substrate, looking to see if there's any evidence of Pseudomyces destructans fungus, which is what causes white nose syndrome. So we're looking for that as well.
Thankfully, none was found inside Devil's Sinkhole, but it does remain a problem across the state.
This cold-loving fungus is affecting our hibernating bats. So when these bats go into these caves to sleep through the winter, when it's really freezing cold outside, the fungus grows on them. It's an irritant, wakes them up, kind of messes up their hibernation cycle. And when they wake up, they use more energy to do that. They burn off their fat reserves and they end up starving to death.
And no one wants that. These misunderstood creatures are what draw people from across the world to places like Bracken Bat Cave and the Devil's Sinkhole. Their emergence in return is a sight to behold.
There was this 10-foot diameter tube of bats coming out of a cloud about 200 feet up, just hurtling. When they got right above the sinkhole, they flared their wings, they just poured in. We're out here for 2 hours and it never stopped.
Andrew Barnaby has been a guide at the Devil's Sinkhole for decades, and he'll tell you talking to onlookers about bats never gets old.
You know, bats have such a horrible reputation, of course, they can scare you in the night, but they're the sweetest, kindest little creatures, and the Mexican free-tail is just astonishing. It's weighs 3 nickels weigh. It flies 100 miles an hour.
The fastest mammal on Earth. Just one more reason why the bats are so fascinating. Bottom line, we need these bats to thrive. Next time you itch your arm and curse the mosquito that bit you, know that without bats, we'd be itching a lot more. For KSAT Explains, I'm meteorologist Justin Horn.
Monday on the news at 6.
This is the first time I've gotten out and walked right here.
Nothing like this has ever happened to you before.
No.
A man's life saved.
And I fell backwards.
Thanks in part to strangers.
A couple was walking down the street.
So you didn't remember those 2 minutes?
Those 2 minutes I do not remember. And I was standing with my eyes wide open.
An effort to find his helpers. That's part of why you wanted to do this interview. And share what he knows now.
7 days in the hospital changes your life.
It's Monday on the news at 6.
As the situation with the government shutdown continues to play out, local businesses continue to step up and help feed our San Antonio families. This week, Oya Express Cafe downtown have been providing free breakfast to those hurting during the government shutdown. All the work they have been doing is based on monetary donations the cafe receives from the community.
We are receiving the donations little by little, so we encourage everyone to donate. Even if it's $1 or less than that, anything helps, any amount helps.
Andrea Lay told us they've helped nearly 45,000 people receive a free breakfast. More than 173,000 veterans call San Antonio home, but for this year's Veterans Day parade in downtown, things looked a little different. Devin Karp explains how the government shutdown changed their plans and what veterans are doing to support each other.
It's something thousands of people in San Antonio are proud of, the heritage, the history, and the positivity for veterans.
So you're able to take any situation, as most veterans do when we're in the military, basically making lemonade out of lemons.
The yearly Veterans Day parade in town draws thousands of veterans and non-service members to honor and celebrate their accomplishments and sacrifices. But this year's parade looked a little different. Normally, the Army and the Navy bring around 50 troops to be part of the parade, but because of the government shutdown, they had to cancel.
Military service isn't something that is just once a year or just during deployments. It's literally a 365-day job, and it's not easy.
Still, veterans showed up to support each other.
When we get out, we lose that tribe. These types of celebrations bring us back together. When we're together, we speak the same language, we've gone through the same things, and we're able to bring together that solidarity to help push ourselves forward in life.
It's something that inspires Rex, a veteran himself, to help other vets and look forward to how the community supports them through hard times.
We're still here, we're celebrating, we love one another because we're here. We're coming together as a community because we care for one another, not just as veterans, but as human beings, as Americans. So I think I have hope.
Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
That cold front came through today, and although it was a breezy day, it was a cooler day. We only got to the 70s, but what we're watching tomorrow is going to be at least a 10-degree difference in the afternoon, even colder in the mornings. I'll break it down for you coming up after the break.
All right, taking a look at live cam. Your time is 10:45 this evening. Thank you for staying up with us. 56 degrees.
58.
It's 58. I am blind. Somebody send me to the eye doctor. Regardless, it's going to get a whole lot colder than that in a few hours.
It is, and I mean 56, 58 degrees. That's going to be closer to our temperature now. It's going to be closer to what our peak temperature is tomorrow.
Thanks for calling me out.
It just shows you that it's going to be cold tomorrow.
Yes, it is.
Not only in the afternoon, still might be t-shirts as long as you have jeans on, but in the mornings, you're going to want the jackets. We'll be waking up tomorrow morning at 37 degrees. What I want to do is highlight both tomorrow morning and Tuesday morning, just to show you, not only for San Antonio, but for everyone. It's going to be chilly, 37 degrees in San Antonio tomorrow morning, but Goliad, Gonzales, Kerrville, they're all going to be right around freezing at 33 to 32 degrees, expecting a light freeze in portions of the hill country, which is why they have that freeze warning in effect until 9 a.m. But what we're watching is Tuesday morning. We're still expecting some cooler temperatures, but Tuesday morning might even be chillier, not only for the Alamo City, but for most of us across South Central Texas. So not only cooler temperatures tomorrow, but also Tuesday morning, where we're seeing and expecting a few more of the temperatures being below or at freezing widespread. So keep in mind as you're going out and about throughout the next few mornings, it is going to be chilly, so bundle up. But the good news is that all of that cooler air that was making its way to Texas today is finally pushing off by the time we get to tomorrow. All that cooler Canadian and Arctic air from the polar vortex is shifting, giving us a little bit of relief from the heat. So that is at least a plus side, that We're not expecting the colder temperatures to stick around for much longer, but they're still almost 20 degrees cooler in St. Louis tomorrow. Still 10 to 20 degrees cooler as we get into Texas, not only tomorrow, but throughout the next week or so. So it's still going to be a little chilly for us tomorrow and Tuesday, but our temperatures are slowly warming up. 61 degrees is our peak temperature tomorrow afternoon, but the winds are already starting to calm down tonight, and the cool temperatures are going to continue to cool quickly, but we're still seeing that possibility of a light freeze not only tomorrow but also on Tuesday. Over the next few days, temperatures finally returning to the 80s on Wednesday, clear skies, and really the only chance of making any sort of cloud coverage doesn't return until Saturday, when we finally see some sort of rain chances for us in the Alamo City. But JP, it's brought with another chance of a cool front.
We've been asking for it here in South Texas. We wanted the colder temperatures. Now we got it. Luckily, it's only for a few days before things heat up, but then right back to it, as you just mentioned. So
we're testing the waters. Mother Nature is just preparing us.
I've been in near freezing temperatures. I'm not a fan. But like I said the other night, beggars can't be choosers. Yes. We'll take the colder temperatures. Thanks for that, Shelby. All right, now De'Aaron Fox is back on the court for the Silver and Black. What he had to say about his return, and UTSA women's soccer winning the conference title. Mary's working on all those highlights coming up in just a bit.
Welcome back. Well, what a spectacular finish in Florida today. The UTSA women's soccer team captured the AAC championship, defeating Rice 1-0 thanks to an overtime goal from Bree Kerrigan. The redshirt freshman was named the tournament's most outstanding offensive player. The Roadrunners proved a lot of doubters wrong after this playoff run, and now UTSA, well, they await its opponent for the NCAA tournament.
I'm not going to lie. We had a chip on our shoulder because I think the coaches picked us 8th, and I think there's some pundits out there that picked us to finish dead last in this league this year. So for us to be sitting here, finish tied for 3rd in the league standings, and walk away with this tournament trophy and be the only one left standing is a tremendous amount of satisfaction.
Their selection show is tomorrow. All right, last night, De'Aaron Fox made his highly anticipated return to the hardwood, and it went about as well as it could have for Fox, who hadn't played since March. Now, once he settled into the game, Fox put up 24 points in his first game back from a hamstring strain and pinky surgery, as the Spurs defeated the Pelicans for their 7th win of the season. Now, what we saw last night was just the 6th game Fox and Victor Wembanyama played together. And after the game, Fox gave his take on how he, Wemby, and Stephon Castle complement each other.
This is only our 6th game playing together, so that's still a work in progress. But I think we help each other and we complement each other, and even with like Steph, I feel like it opens up for them as well. During the course of the first half, like Herb is picking me up at half court and I don't have the ball, so I'm trying to tell them to continue to be more aggressive. There's no reason for me to bring their best defender in the action if we don't have to. And y'all are playing against, I guess, lesser defenders. Like, I mean, he's an all defensive team caliber player. So with that, just use my gravity, use the space that we have, and if we have to play a 4-on-4 with the players that we have, and I'm not there, and their best defender's out, I like our odds.
The Spurs missed Fox. All right, the Spurs are back tomorrow on the road. They visit the 6-3 Bulls at 7 o'clock. All right, it's time now to hit the road with our Ancia Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Play of the Week.
Mendoza in trouble. It's out. Touchdown. Wow. Give him the Heisman Trophy now.
All right, JP, I know Larry was here last night. I'm sure you guys raved about this touchdown, but obviously couldn't justify another play of the week, so we're running this one back. Unbelievable toe tap from Omar Coper Jr. Not only an incredible touchdown, but it was to stay undefeated as the second-ranked Hoosiers beat Penn State 27-24. Cooper Jr. I mean, come on. You get our Ancia Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Play of the Week. It's plays like that where these athletes contort their body mid air that it just leaves you speechless.
The concentration, you see him midair after he puts both hands on the ball. It looks like he's looking down to see where the in line is to get his feet back. And then as you saw right there on the screen, not just the play itself, but the moment in which he made it happen. 35 seconds left to go, and the go-ahead score.
Touchdown of the year?
It could be, especially if they continue on this pace. Indiana football has never really been one to rave about, but right now they're
winning games in incredible fashion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Mary. We'll be right back.